Hey guys, welcome back. Today I am going to talk to you about this simple high-low count scanner. This uses zigzag to find the highs and lows, and then it shows you the count for higher highs and higher lows and lower lows and lower highs. Don't worry, I'll explain what each of these means. So I'll just show you the scanner, what it looks like. So right here and right here, I'll show you what higher highs mean. So as you can see, whenever zigzag finds a high peak, it will create this higher high. And right here, these are the higher lows. So wherever price high reaches, and when the price high is higher than this previous one, that is when it will be counted. And right here, this will also be counted. But over here, this high is actually lower than the previous high, which is why this will not be counted. So this scanner will count all of these HH 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then it will show you that in the dash. And these are the higher lows, meaning that whenever this low is higher than this previous low and this low is also higher than this previous low, then these become HL. So these are also counted and shown in the dashboard as HL. So higher highs are HH, higher lows are HL. And the same way for the other direction, the downward trend. So these are the lower highs and lower lows. So whenever the low of price is lower than the previous one, and that is lower than the previous one, so this will count it as 3. And these are the lower highs. So whenever high is lower than the previous high, and this high is lower than the previous one, so these will be counted. So this scanner is very useful in finding the ongoing trend. So suppose the price has been making consistent higher highs and consistent higher lows. In that case, it means that price is trending upwards. And if it has been making consistent lows, lower lows and lower highs, in that case, price is trending downwards. And you can also find out when a trend is quite possibly ending. In case if you still have lower highs, but the lower lows are no longer there. In that case, the trend might be slowing down. So I'll just go over the scanner and show you what it looks like right here. And I'll go over the settings one by one so that you know how it works. And then we can go over how best to trade it. So these are all the common settings that all of my scanner dashboards have. So I'll share a link in the description which explains all of these settings. For this video, I'll mainly focus on the high-low settings. So you can just go over that link right here. Now suppose if we have shift 0, in that case it will start the count at the most recent ongoing bar. But in case if you don't want the current bar because zigzag is still forming, in that case you can always set this to shift 1. I'll just keep it at 0. And these are the max past bars. So I use 500. You can also use something like 200 in case if you are only interested in the most recent zigzag count. And these are refresh after ticks. So by default the scanner has 20. It means that after 20 ticks it will refresh this scanner. But suppose if volatility is very high, in that case 20 ticks will happen in just a few seconds, like 5 or 6 seconds. And if you are using all 28 pairs, and if you are using multiple time frames like 5 or 6 time frames, in that case the scanner will take about 4 or 5 seconds to fully refresh. So if you have problems like the scanner is hanging, then this might be the case that your refresh after ticks is too low. Which is why if volatility is very high and ticks are coming together very fast, in that case just set it to something like 100. Now these are the values which will create the zigzag. So this indicator, it uses the default MetaTrader zigzag indicator. So I'll just open that in the chart and let you know what each of those means. So I'm only using 4 time frames, which is why it refreshed in like 2 or 3 seconds. But if you're using a lot of time frames, in that case it might take 4 to 5 seconds. So let's just go over one example. Like right here, we have a higher low of 10. Now as discussed below, these are the higher highs and these are the higher lows. So if we count this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and finally this is the 10th one. And this will not be counted because this is lower than the previous low. So these are all, so price has continuously been trending upwards, which is why it is creating higher highs and higher lows. So that will show you that we are in a consistent uptrend. And the way zigzag works is that the zigzag has 3 of these settings. So depth is basically the number of bars, like the minimum interval during which the indicator will draw a new high or a new low whenever this deviation changes. And the backstep is at least the number of bars which will separate the two local extremes. So at least within the last 3 bars, there should not be a high and a low right here. And finally, the deviation, as I explained, this is the minimal price change which will create this new high or a new low. So if the price has changed by 5%, only in that case it will create this new high and low. So zigzag tool is very useful in finding peaks and valleys, and also based on this deviation you can find out whether price has been trending or ranging mostly. I have a post on my website which explains the 3LZZ semaphore, and in that I have explained each of these zigzag settings in a much greater detail. So I'll just share that post in the description box below. So if you are using the 3LZZ zigzag values for semaphore 3 like that, in that case you can set this to 34, 13 and 8. Let me just zoom out. So these zigzag values, these will be same as your semaphore 3 values in 3LZZ. So you can also make that change right here in the dashboard, and you can have a greater number of max passed bars so that you can get the exact number of highs and lows. So I'll just leave it as it is. These are the default zigzag values. Now the next setting that we have, these HH count higher highs, lower lows, higher lows and lower highs. So suppose I have 3 for each of these, then these will highlight these particular values in case if that number is equal to or greater than this threshold. So whenever these values are more than 3, in that case it will highlight these, and if you have pop-up alert set to true, then you will also get alerts whenever price crosses this threshold. So whenever you have, like say you have 7 number of lower lows over here when you load the dashboard for the first time, in that case you will get an alert for each of these. Now that could be a lot of alerts, so if you aren't interested in those, you can just set this to false. And if you are only interested in like higher number, you can always set this to 5. By default the scanner has 5 values for all of these. So you'll get fewer highlights, but these will give you an even better trend. So this indicator, this scanner dashboard, it's not really for standalone trading. You can use this in conjunction with your other indicators or your current strategy. So this is very useful in helping you find the ongoing trends. Like for example, if I go over here, let me just give you 2 example strategies. I'll just load a pivot indicator, and I've also got all of these indicators in this post. So you can just go over the downloads, and I also have this same indicator available on MetaTrader, and right here you can go over this blog post, and all of these extra indicators, they are also available right here. So this is the pivots indicator, and I'll just set the middle pivot to true also. Now if you're using, this is just an example strategy. Now I know that price has been making higher highs and higher lows, which means that it has been trending upwards. So whenever price crosses the pivot, any pivot line with a very strong volume, in that case it means that price will most likely keep going upwards because it has broken this pivot level. And we know that price is trending upwards very strongly, which is why we can place a buy somewhere over here. And the same thing, that once we detect this upwards trend, we can use whatever strategy we are using to only trade buy. And same way, if price has been trending downwards, in that case with our current strategy we will try and only trade sell signals. And another way that we could trade something like this is using trend lines. I have one indicator which shows trend lines. I'll just load it. So this shows me trend lines. I cannot share this indicator with you because it is a paid one, but you can use any of your trend lines indicators. And as I know that price has been going upwards, and these trend lines, they show that price has started to converge right here, which is why the trend might be slowing down soon. Once price reaches somewhere over here, in that case the trend might end. So trend lines are very useful in figuring out which way a trend is headed and when price might reverse. So you can use these pivot lines or something like these trend lines, or even FIBO or support resistance indicators. You can use any of those to find the best entry and exit points. And once again, I would like to reiterate that this is a supporting indicator only. This will help you validate the current ongoing trend. I would not recommend using it as a standalone trading. This is best used to find the ongoing trend. And this indicator, it will be available for free for 2 weeks on my website. And you can download it right here. This is a time demo. It will expire on 2nd September. And after that, the demo will still work, but you can only choose 3 pairs after that. For 2 weeks, it will work fully. You can have as many pairs as you like. So just try it out and let me know in the comment section below what you think. I have also shared this in my Telegram group, and whenever I release a new product, I will keep the demo version free for the first few weeks so that you could try it out. And the time demo, it will work fully for the first few weeks. And you can either join my Telegram group, or if you like, I also have a newsletter. And whenever I create a new product, I will share the time demo for the first few weeks in my newsletter also. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. And I really hope that you like using this, and have a nice day. Thanks, guys.